Okay, you are. Okay, wait.
Hold up. She hit some of that good icky, sticky.
I had a little bit. I had a tiny bit of the ooh-wee.
The Chronic.
They're flowers.
2021.
So, popping up on the player part 2, Houston, Texas. I got my backup dancers. And I got the one and only DJ Nembis. So Nembis, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Native Houstonian by way of Austin. House head, hip hop underground head. All things underground, neo soul, acid jazz, all that good shit.
Okay, so how did you get started in? Well, let me ask you this question. You've been DJing since you was 9, right? Started in your mama's basement.
Not 9.
Okay.
We don't have basements in Texas.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Hey, we down south.
Okay.
So I've been listening to music since I was 9, tearing on my dad's needles, trying to figure out this DJ thing at 9 and 10.
Okay.
But I didn't start DJing until college years.
Okay.
But I was collecting music from middle school to now.
So shout out your college. Where'd you go?
I went to Prairie View A&M University, HBCU.
Hey. I'm a Norfolk State University band mom, so HBCU, and that's a Southern.
You know, swag.
So, tell us a little bit about the Houston house music scene.
The Houston house music scene is what you would expect for a southern city. House is not a big or a predominant thing here, but because our city is so big, even the small pockets of it are still sizable.
Wow, that's a nice way to put it.
I mean, we only got 4 million people here, so...
Yeah, Houston is huge. I don't care where you go in Houston, it's 35 minutes. Cook County don't have shit on Houston. I would gladly drive in Chicago traffic. Detroit people, we got it so good, you just don't understand. Houston, if you want to go to the store,
you got to be about that life.
You got to be about that 35, 45-minute life. Period.
But that store gonna be on and popping though, wherever you go. It could be Walmart, it could be IHOP, it could be Target. It's going down.
And how many residents do you have here in Houston?
Right now, 4.
And of that, what percentage would you say our house is?
If it's
I'm making them do a math equation.
Yeah, I'm calculating. I'm an engineer. So, if it's my event, then the majority of the people there are going to be house heads. But like the restaurant that I resident at, people in there aren't house heads, but they're there because of house music. They don't know about it. They just like the feel. I'm introducing. That's my job, and I tell people this all the time. If you live in a city where house music is the main music, I ain't gonna take no credit from you, but you ain't doing shit playing the music that everybody likes. Try playing it for people that don't know about it.
Oh, shots fucking fire!
You know, the reality is, it would be like me playing southern rap music or trap in Houston. Who don't like that here?
Right.
But even house music here is thought to be a European thing.
Okay.
So I'm ungentrifying our music.
Let me get some, brother. My Nubian king.
Our music.
Wakanda forever.
Because house music is black history. Never forget that. Without us, there is no house music. There is no techno. There is no hip hop. There is no jazz. There is no rock and roll. There is no blues. There is no R&B. There ain't no country. We invented all of it. So when people are talking about Ibiza, Spain, Europe, UK, it all came after New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago. Not in that order, but in that order.
And the peanut gallery says... Okay,
It can be crickets, but holla if you hit. That's Tupac. I can go hip hop or house.
I mean, can I have a hug or something after this interview is over? Okay, great. So, what brought you to the house?
All right, so
specifically, what brought you to the house?
Houston brought me to house. Ironically as that sounds. So imagine living in a city that doesn't even have black radio stations. That's Austin. That's where I grew up. Going to a school that only had 12 black people in my class of 574. That's my background. Houston had black radio stations, primarily R&B and hip-hop at the time. But one particular station introduced Tip House because they thought it was rap music. And that's where I first became introduced to it, but I didn't know it was house music at the time. It was just hip-hop that was talking about house.
Okay.
That's what we thought.
Okay.
Girl, I house you. And then
Jungle Brothers.
Yeah, Jungle Brothers. Then Queen Latifah coming to my house. Then, Twin Heights. But it was all rapping. So we thought that this was just the new generation of rap. We didn't realize it was a spinoff of something else.
Gotcha.
That nobody was making house music in Texas.
Gotcha.
Therefore, nobody was really playing house music in Texas.
So do you have any Texas producers? Do you have any Texas house producers?
Very few.
Okay.
DeMarcus Lewis, he's up in Dallas, one of the coldest in the game.
Shout them all out. Shout them all out.
Big shouts out to DeMarcus Lewis. He's definitely doing it big. He's been in the game a long time. He's an OG. JT Donaldson. Lucas Kaiser, but he moved away to Denver, but I'm still shouting him out because he held it down for Houston. But as I said, we have, I'm going to say, being generous, 7 real house producers in the entire whole state of Texas.
And Texas is a big ass state.
But again, house music ain't our culture.
So let me ask you this. In Detroit, I can't speak too much of Chicago because I don't live there. I don't know. But I will say this, Chicago is definitely more of a black thing. In Detroit, there is a good mix. You still have one side leaning more to the other. So how is it in Houston? Is it a coming together of all?
Well, here's right where we're at. Clearly, everybody's here, right?
Right.
But this is not the norm.
Okay.
Normally, you'll go somewhere and it's all white, heavily Hispanic, and almost no black. Black people think house music is white music here because they don't know. So that's why this event is called Exposure, because I'm trying to expose Texans to house that you're not going to hear. Like what you're hearing now, you're used to this. You go somewhere else, you'll be like, what is this? Because it ain't this. So
who is this banging the box now?
This is Miss Melodic. She's from Maryland.
Okay.
She's older than me, but I'm her mentor. But she knows this music. She grew up in it. She's pre-Chicago. But see, there's always that beef of who was first, New York, Chicago. Without New York, there would have been no Chicago. Frankie Knuckles is from New York. He went to Paradise Garage. Larry Levan basically taught him. He moved to Chicago. Chicago did their thing. The sound moved to Detroit. So who's first is not the most important thing. It is very important, but it's what came after.
What it birthed.
What it birthed. It's like a mom could be poor and then birth a Michael Jordan. She ain't poor no more.
It's kind of what we do as a people. We birth greatness.
Detroit, I give y'all probably like when I look at all the music history, Motown alone. Where did most of all the samples come from? Disco and R&B, soul.
In church.
And gospel.
Now let me ask you a question with that. I need you, and I ask all DJs this. You cannot not answer the question. You have to answer the question. I need you to name me your top 5 Detroit DJs. In no particular order.
Bruce Bailey. Demetrius Orr. What's my
Washington McKinney. Gotta throw Derek Mann there. And Glenn Underground.
Glenn Underground is from Chicago.
I thought he lived in, I went and saw him there.
Okay, but he's not from Detroit. Glenn.
Alright, so I'll take him off. We'll put Derek Mann there. Now what?
But that's 4. You got
That's
one
4?
more.
Kai Alsey, even though he lives in Atlanta, from Detroit.
By way of New York.
But we know him from Detroit.
Alright.
Ain't nobody ever talked about him in New York.
So do you have a lot of, and this is kind of a dumb question, do you have a lot of Detroit influence? And or should I say, how has Detroit influenced you?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Coming from a place that has nothing, everywhere that had something influenced me. I'm not polarized to anywhere because I'm not from the place that had it.
Gotcha.
So Detroit, I mean, I live in old school Detroit techno. Old school. Inner City, Good Life. I mean, that's like my favorite song ever. Ever. But, you know, Chicago, I went to Chicago first. That's where I really heard house music at a higher level. When I went to Detroit, I didn't know anybody to ask about a radio station, so I didn't get the early Detroit experience by radio.
Okay.
It wasn't until I went as an adult that I actually closed that gap. Whereas Chicago, I picked that up when I was like in 10th grade.
Gotcha. Do you have a top 5 Chicago DJ list? We know Glenn Underground is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, Moody Man.
Moody Man is from Detroit.
Whatever I said, I do between the two of them.
Okay.
So put him on the other list and Glenn Underground on that list.
Alright, okay, so we just gonna flip
Yeah,
flop.
flip them.
We gonna put them in their right city.
DJ Shawnee for the Groove Temple. I like Mark Farina. Think about this.
One more.
You know what? I'm gonna go radio. Edward Get Down Crosby or Martin the Boogeyman Luna.
Okay. I have no idea who they are.
They were radio station DJs from WGCI, but the radio of WGCI allowed me to hear what I had never heard.
Gotcha.
And a lot of Chicago natives talk shit about the radio DJs. Without them, the world wouldn't even know about house music. Farley Jam, Master Funk.
What little they do know.
Right, but I'm saying the radio, back then there was no internet. So how the hell were you going to hear it? If you weren't from there, you weren't going to know what club to go to. They were broadcasting live from the club. I can list off some clubs, and I know these names, never set foot in them because of radio. And I taped all these shows. Like right now, if we really, really wanted to, I could walk you to my vehicle and play 1991, 1993, 1995, 1997 in Chicago, Houston, Austin, and Dallas. House music. Because I taped everything everywhere I went.
Wow.
And I study that.
Y'all, this brother is so deep. He is so deep. Just talking to him, I'm impressed. I hope you are too. If you had to speak to your DJ brothers and sisters, what would you say to them?
I would say stop trying to be like the greats who already did it and did what they did, and do you. Because I look at all the little posts, because I'm in the Chicago groups, I'm in the Detroit groups, and all the other little house groups, and I see so much fighting and bickering based mainly political shit that really ain't got nothing to do with the music. Be you, do you. You know, there's already a Louis Vega. He's already done Louis Vega. Frankie Knuckles came and went. He did him. You can't do him. Any of the greats, Tony Humphries, David Morales. Create your own lane, cultivate it, stop looking for shortcuts. Take the long road. They'll appreciate you more 20 years from now versus trying to be an overnight success because you saw it work for someone else. Stop that shit.
I love this guy. What is your preferred house genre?
That's the good one because it makes a lot of arguments. My preferred house genre is deep house, not Chicago's definition, aka disco, but the Larry Heard, that vein of deep house, real deep house subgenre. That hypnotic, you might get laid, that shit, not
But
beat that bitch with the bat. I mean, I like that, but the deep house.
you think Chicago deep house is defined by disco?
No, they refer to deep house as disco. If you talk to a Chicago native that's older than 50, I'm gonna say older than 40. I just had this argument today. When we're talking about going deep, we're talking about disco, and I'm like, that's not what it is. You know what? I can show you the post today.
Wow.
So the
Hold
rest
on.
of the world.
I need anybody from Chicago that's listening. I need you to confirm this for me.
Okay, hold on. I'll show it to you.
I'm not saying it's lying. I didn't know. I didn't know. I did not know that.
Because nobody else refers to it in that manner. That's a Chicago thing.
I did not know that.
All right, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Shout out to Curtis Childs, Black Jewel, because he's the one that said it. So I was fussing about Piano House. Yeah, Piano House. I'm like, most all old school house got piano in it. That's kind of like egg cake. Cakes come with eggs. All right. Do you hear what? Here you go, right there. You can read it for yourself.
Greg, be nice.
I won't be nice. I tell the truth.
But the truth as to who sees it, you or everybody else?
No, the truth don't have opinions. The truth is the truth. But the thing is,
That is a long argument.
a very long argument. But what I'm saying, we ain't gonna get into that. But it's like local slang, and that's what I tried to address. Is like right now, trap is considered hip hop by radio stations, even though any hip hop head ain't no hip hop head talking about the Migos is hip hop. Cardi B is not hip hop; it's rap music, and under rap music was a style known as hip hop. But hip hop flows off the tongue very easy. So when your radio station's announcing hip hop and R&B, that sounds better. Yeah, we got the latest rap and R&B. That doesn't even sound good.
You know, I gotta take a pause right quick. This chick is throwing the fuck down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that might be Drew. We're rotating.
Okay.
We're rotating.
Okay.
Every 3 songs. But that's Louis Vega right there. Sofrito.
Well,
See now, here's the triple OG right here from Detroit.
Grandpa Tony.
Tony Powell, Grandpa Tony.
say hi.
You wouldn't have
Who do
a
you
life.
want to
You
shout
need a
out?
life.
Who do
They
you want
can't
to shout
see
out
all.
in
They can't
Detroit?
see all this.
Come over here.
There you go.
Okay,
So
yeah.
who do you want to shout out in Detroit?
My brother Eric Powell. Your wedding is coming up August 3rd. I'll be there. Lori, hope y'all have a happy life together. Y'all have made all them goddamn kids. Now you may as well get married. Goddamn.
Man,
Anybody else?
Nope.
DJs?
he got them all.
Oh, DJ. Stacy Hale. My girl, Stacy Hale. Peace
DJ
out.
Serena be jamming too.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh,
Say that
I
again.
said DJ Serena be jamming too.
What's that?
Serena Tyler, I think.
well,
Serena Tyler.
Now, here, you have a very interesting dynamic right here. I don't even think y'all understand what's going on right here. He's the beginning of this house journey here in Houston. I'm like the current house journey. And
Can I get one? It look like cake.
me and him did not know each other, but this
Thank
event
you.
that we're at right now brought him to
I'm from
the
Detroit,
event
I'm just
by way of
here.
one of his friends.
Oh no, baby.
And that's how we filled the gaps because it was thought that to come to house, there was only one way you could get there.
Where you get it from?
Detroit.
And
No, that's true.
our dynamic showed that there's like many ways to house, not
That,
one way.
you know, I always say our house has many doors. Whichever door you
I think I
open.
slid through the side door.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This has been a very, very, very good interview. I've enjoyed speaking with you.
I enjoyed being had.
Well, you know, like I always say, love, peace, hair grease, and catch us in traffic.